Here's what's in the news now.
Other news now. On the south side in Johnson County today, prosecutors now telling 13 News they plan to file formal charges Monday in a deadly shooting that went down outside a restaurant in Greenwood last week. And when we look at the court documents, we're shedding some more light on the crime that was not provoked, according to the court documents. Surveillance video shows 52-year-old Tim Sanito leaving the Ale Emporium, walking to his car, and then immediately getting shot by someone who was in an SUV that was parked right next to him.
It appears to be a random act of violence, and quite frankly, I've never seen anything like that before. It is a heartbreaking situation for the family. They're having to deal with the aftermath of it.
Prosecutors say that police spotted that SUV the day after the murder. Investigators now say 25-year-old Marco Antonio Gonzalez was inside that vehicle with a loaded gun that matched shell casings that were found at the shooting scene. Gonzalez now in custody without bond. Right now, 2 deaths are being investigated in Delaware County. It was just a few hours ago we learned the identity of one of the people killed. 29-year-old Tristan Twilley was found shot and killed inside a duplex on East 10th Street in Muncie. It happened around 3:30 yesterday morning. Today, an autopsy is planned. Police say they found him dead inside the home after getting several calls about shots fired there. Now, the other incident involves a man that was found dead in a field near State Road 28 and County Road 600 West. That's in Gaston, Indiana, near Westdale High School. The coroner telling 13 News 40-year-old Joe Heron Jr. rather, is the name of the man who was killed there. Sheriff's deputies believe that a car hit him and tell us that they have located a potential suspect in the case, and also they are interviewing some persons of interest. Another shipment of hazardous waste from a toxic train derailment in Ohio now headed to a landfill in Putnam County here in Indiana. IDEM confirms the first shipment there arrived earlier this week. They had been paused by the EPA. Governor Holcomb ordered third-party testing of the contaminated soil. Results from the first test did not show dangerous levels of dioxins. And the governor, however, still requesting more testing on any future shipments to Indiana.
Okay, so some good news for drivers this morning.
Yeah, the city says it has filled over 100,000 potholes this year. I've hit a few of them. Now, DPW says crews have responded to more than 5,600 service requests. In the past, they've had to wait on asphalt, but this year they've been able to get materials out earlier.
Well, this morning, if you or a loved one is living with Alzheimer's, you should listen to this because new numbers are out this week and they show what the future of the disease could look like here in Indiana.
Samantha Johnson has been looking through the numbers this morning and is live in the newsroom. Sam, a little bit of good news here, right?
That's right, especially when it comes to available resources and prevention. We will get to that in just a minute, but first I've got to tell you the not so good news. I want to run you through what some of this brand new information from the Alzheimer's Association says about us here in Indiana. So let me show you a little bit of what we've learned. We know that just a few years ago, there were 110,000 Hoosiers over the age of 65 living with Alzheimer's here in Indiana. But experts predict by the year 2025, that will increase to 130,000. That's an expected increase of more than 18%. So I sat down with Dr. Nicole Purcell. She's a senior director over at the association to ask her a little more about what Hoosiers can be doing now to help prevent Alzheimer's. Here's what she had to say.
So what we know is that what is good for the heart is good for the brain. So we definitely recommend to keep your vascular risk factors under control, meaning diabetes under control, blood pressure under control. If you're a smoker, you should discontinue that.
Now, Dr. Purcell also suggests keeping alcohol to a minimum if you can, and this is really important. She says, remember to remain physically, socially, and mentally active. Now, the other bit of good news is for our at-home caregivers who are Hoosiers here in Indiana. We know there are a lot of you. Last year, there were 216,000 unpaid Hoosier caregivers caring for loved ones with Alzheimer's, working, by the way, more than 321 million unpaid hours. The good news is Dr. Purcell says there is a free 24/7 helpline that is ready to assist. You can call that number to get assistance or guidance. We're going to put that number for you at WTHR.com. That's also where you can find some more tips if you are caring for a loved one, and also more information about the future and signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's. We'll have all that for you at WTHR.com. Julia and Felicia.
Well, welcome
Welcome back as Severe Weather Preparedness Week continues. Today we're focusing on the threat of flooding. As we've already seen this year, elevated river levels plus heavy rain could lead to flash flooding. Now, when these conditions are in the forecast, the National Weather Service will issue a flash flood watch. This allows us to be prepared in case flooding occurs, and then a warning will be issued once water starts to fill our local waterways and river basins. That warning will be issued with important messages where flooding is expected and where you can avoid these low-lying areas. Now, keep in mind, if heavy rainfall comes in, that could lead to rapid water rises, and it doesn't really take much to do a lot of damage. In fact, just 6 inches of flowing water can sweep an adult person off of their feet. A foot of water can move a car or a small SUV, and 18 inches of water can sweep away a large vehicle. It is imminent. You turn around, find an alternate route if you do come to a flooded out roadway. Just a few things to keep in mind as we plan for an active spring. Know your risk. If you live or work in a floodplain, you'll need to double check your insurance coverage to protect you and your property. We'll let you know tips like we are preparing for heavy rain. You can clear your storm drain ahead of time, and remember to charge devices in case of power outages. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about our flooding risk for this upcoming spring.